Okay, so the backstage.
Okay.
This is where the curtain gets pulled back. No, I'm just kidding.
Jesus, Sandy.
No, not like that.
Oh, well, that's what it sounded like.
No, it's like pulling back the curtain and keeping it real. And, you know, you've been doing real estate for 10 years. I often say when I teach some classes, you know, no one comes out of the birth canal saying, I'm a real estate agent, right? But maybe almost for you. With being in a real estate family, you know, what's one thing that if you could rewind the clock and someone would have told you when you first started, what would be one thing that hands down would be something you would do in your business to make it a little easier for you?
I would say, well, everybody should have a John.
Well, then let's not talk about John, but let's talk about what John does for you.
Yeah.
I think it's huge.
It really is. I mean, and I was going to say with that, a CRM, I think that's so important because you really have to just follow up. Follow up is so important in this business. And, you know, I think that I sometimes wonder about that, like people that are just single agents that are doing a certain amount of deals, like, how are they doing this? Because if you're out, you know, showing homes and then your phone rings or someone's responding to an email, it's very hard to, you know, hit a certain amount of sales and do it all by yourself. So I'm really lucky that I have John that's, you know, always supporting me, staying, you know, helping me, staying on top of me as well. Like, hey, did you follow up with these people? Or, so I think that's the biggest thing is like a CRM and following up. And if you stick to that, I think that really will help you. You know, and I think a lot of people think too that like, oh, I'm bugging them. And this is one thing when I first started that John always said, I'd be like, I feel like I'm just bothering them. I don't want to keep calling. Like they'll call me back. Yeah. But in the end of it, I think they actually respect you more and they appreciate it more. Even if you are bothering them and blowing them up, they see that you're, you know, staying committed and following up with them.
Absolutely. Because, you know, I'll hear, oh, we're going to wait 6 months. But I know if I waited 5 months, in the old days, before I worked my database, CRM, whatever you want to call it, you know, we still check in with them every month. And there's a lot of times, like I just had somebody, it's month 2 when they said they were going to wait until next January. And now month 2, it's like, oh, you know, I think we're changing our mind. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
And you wouldn't know that if you just put a trigger 5 months from now, but staying in front of them, that's so true.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, even people that you're like, that you help them buy a house and you think that they're not going to sell for 2 years or 3 years and something comes up where they have to move back home or, you know, and they are literally, you know, putting their house on the market in 6 months. So people just have all different kinds of situations and life situations. And
if you're not staying in contact or following up, you essentially lose them, you know,
exactly.
Or you could potentially.
But
what CRM do you use?
KV Core with EXP. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's really a great one. It really is.
And you do your monthly newsletter every month.
Thanks to Bree. Got me doing that. Yeah, I really like those too. And it's nice hearing feedback from clients, you know, that they liked it or they read it. I think that's really nice. I've been hearing that. So, yeah. And I mean, Sandy, you know this too, like handwritten cards. You know, there's more ways than just, you know, following up with a phone call and staying in front of people. You know, your 1-year house anniversary. We send out those birthdays. We always like when they close, we ask, you know, when's your birthday? When's your anniversary? And it's just great ways to stay in touch and, you know, but also build that friendship with them too.
Yeah, they always say people want to work with people they know, like, and trust. And so if you think it's just a real estate transaction, you're losing so much in building that relationship. You know, I just think it's the largest asset. For us, it's the largest debt. And we have to take that serious. And, you know, it's a time period right now. You know, years ago, everyone was leaving voicemails, and that's out now, right? Email's almost out. Now it's texting. Now it's voicemail. It's mail. It just trends. And, you know, I always tell a story of if I was doing now what I did 37 years ago when I first started being a loan officer, you know, I would be out of the business, you know, and there's so many things that you can get distracted by, social and all that. But in the heart of it is your community, your database, your sphere, your past clients, your prospects. And when you just stay in front of them, that's building you a business for the rest of your life.
Take care of your
Agree
people.
more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. They're your seeds. Water them with your time and attention. You absolutely do. All right, well, ask, what's one of your favorite books? But you can't say 7 levels.
Oh gosh, there's so many. I have them on my what is it? How to Be a Millionaire? Is that, I'm blanking on it right now. Let me look it up.
Gary Keller's book?
Yes.
Millionaire Real Estate Agent?
Thank you.
You got it.
Yeah, I love
Yep,
that one.
that was on my shelf this morning. I looked at it, I grabbed a couple, and I'm like, do I take that one with the red cover? That the binding is broke? Because I went through it so many times.
Rich
Yeah.
Dad, Poor Dad. I know
Yeah.
that's an oldie, but a great
that's a
one
great
too.
book.
Still a
I'm
great
having
one.
my
Yeah.
son Kane. I'm making him listen to that right now.
That's awesome. How
Yeah.
old is he?
He's 10,
Oh my gosh.
but he's so intrigued.
That's so awesome.
Yeah,
So cute. Kane, Cash. What's your daughter's name?
Riley.
Oh, so
Aw,
cute.
they're all cute
I know.
names.
I was gonna go with Kennedy. I mean, everybody's like, "What happened there?" But
Well, like I liked it,
They're all-
whatever.
Yeah.
yeah, with K's. But
Mm.
you know, I'm not a great reader, honestly. I really like just putting on Audible and listening to my books that way.
Yeah.
The 7 Levels is a great one too. I'm actually like restarting that one. But yeah, I really think too that if you're just getting into real estate, that's something that you should be doing weekly. You know, getting a new book and just trying to educate yourself with good. I think, you know, there's so much social media and that's good too, like listening to podcasts and things like that. But really, one thing that really helped me in the beginning of my career was always listening to like positive books and, you know, just trying to follow some of those the best you can.
Yeah, it's an easy business to get caught up in the traps of negativity,
Oh,
you know? And so, you know, if you've got to feed your mindset, which is connected to your heart, you know? I mean, if they're not both feeling nourished, it could be easy to stay at the house and eat bonbons, you know,
yes.
instead of doing what we know we need to do.
I can get lonely.
Yeah, especially now. Because in the old days, as an old timer with my cane right here, you know, everyone was in the office all the time. And now it's just not how a lot of the real estate agents work anymore. But I think it's having that commitment to listening to books. And I think that's huge.
Yeah.
So huge because it is a business where sometimes there's, you know, a week where you're like, oh my gosh, does anyone know I'm still alive? You know,
Yeah.
like, is the phone, is it still working? Is it, you know, kind of thing. But I know that doesn't happen because when you stay making your phone calls and checking in on people and caring and having events and, you know, that's just a roadmap for what somebody should be doing. In a sea of distractions in real estate, of your inbox getting full of what people want to try to sell you. In just do this system, you know, buy this, buy these leads or whatever it is. You know, it's easy to get caught up in that sea and not go, all right, I already know enough people. I just need to have the right people in somewhere where it reminds me to pick up the phone and actually check on them. Gosh forbid I go find them on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, you know, and see what they're doing socially. So when I call them, there's no fear of picking up the phone because I know they were just in Hawaii. I can go, hey, how was the vacation?
I know John always says you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Just do what works, you know, because it's true. You get so sidetracked in so many different things. And I think that also did help me as being someone that just tried everything and met with everyone. And, you know, I think you get a little bit of pieces of information from different people, different, you know, lenders and title company, and then you find your people. But yeah, I definitely think that if you stick, you know, to what works for you, that's what's going to help you be the most successful. I mean, follow up, making calls. You're not going to, I don't feel personally you'll be successful if you're not doing that. You know, you have to.
Tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, why do it the hard way? Although I'll tell you, there was a lot of things I did in the hard way as a teenager, but that's not what we're talking about here. So, in business, there's enough really good role models. So if there's an agent that wants to get connected with you to either say how much they loved listening to you today, or maybe, you can give them a piece of your wisdom especially about balance. You've got 3 great kids, and I see you with them a lot. And business is important, family's more important. And so if they want to get a hold of you, what's the best way for them to connect with you as a real estate agent?
Anyway, you can call me again on 602-291-4090. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, any one of those ways, reach out. And, with EXP, we are just such a great brokerage of helping and, wanting to guide. And I'm really grateful for that because they just, it's a web-based brokerage. So you have like this avatar, so you can really work from anywhere and learn from anywhere. But yeah, there's just so many great tips just in that alone with EXP.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank
Awesome,
you.
awesome. I love it.